Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of Blood on the Razor Wire TV, where we bring it to you real and we bring it to you raw. Got a special guest today. Some of you might know who Russell Simmons is. I got his son on the show. He's calling in from a prison that he's at in New York. This is his adopted son. He's back in court right now on his case. Went to jail as a young man, but I'm gonna let Jinx Da Juvy introduce himself and tell you a little bit about him. Jinx, tell the people who you are, man, where you're from, and a little bit about your story.
Hey, yo, man, it's Jinx Da Juvy reporting live, man, from Delhi County Correctional Facility. I'm back down in court. You know what I'm saying? Thanks to, my people's child, Marks. I grew up in Brooklyn. I'm a rapper. Signed a Def Jam. Russell Simmons adopted me. I got caught up in the streets, caught a case, got 25 years in the feds. And now I'm back down in my appeal, about to come home.
So, Jinx, let me ask you something, man. How old were you when you went to prison?
I was 28 when I came to prison.
You were 28 when you went to jail.
Yeah, 28, yeah.
Yeah, and they gave you 25 years, right?
They gave me 25 years, 300 months. You know, in the feds, they give you time by the months in the feds. So 300 months is equivalent to 25 years.
And what was the case for?
Well, my case was a drug conspiracy, drug trafficking charge, 841. Trafficking with intent to sell, and a firearm on count 2. So my mandatory minimum was 10 years on the case, and I got hit with an 851, took it to 20, plus the gun is 25 years.
And it really didn't matter who your lawyer was. It don't matter that Russell Simmons was your adopted father, that he was trying to help you out financially with lawyers. None of that stuff matters in the feds, does it?
Hey, man, I'm going to tell everybody that's listening right now. Russell actually wrote a letter to the judge for me at my sentencing. The letter was about 2 pages long. He explained our relationships. He explained my strong ties in the community. You know, how it was only my second time getting in trouble, my second felony. None of that matters. According to the law as it is now, these mandatory minimums lock us in to the statutory time for those charges. So, unfortunately, I was stuck with 25 years when, in all reality, my federal sentencing guidelines was 7 to 9 years. So, to answer your question, no, none of that matters.
None of that matters. How did it feel, man, for you to get 25 years? You were only 28 years old at the time, so they almost gave you just a little bit less time than how long you had been on Earth. How did that feel to be sentenced to that type of sentence, man?
I didn't believe it, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep it 100. When I first came through, there were certain dudes that was already locked up in the feds, and they was telling me, yo, don't get a lawyer. And I was looking at them like, yo, y'all some broke niggas, man. Y'all just saying that because y'all can't afford to pay no lawyer and this, that, and the third. It's like, yo, you're going to get the amount of time you're going to get anyway. But I'm like, yo, man, 25 years ain't no way possible. This is my second felony. I watch friends of mine go in and out of prison. First they get probation, they get 1 to 3s, they get 2 to 6s, 3 to 9s. They go to shock upstate, get a bald head, run around for a while, stay in shape, and come home. So in my eyes, on my second time getting arrested, I thought I would get the same thing. But in the feds, it's totally different. You come in the feds with a felony, that's 1 strike against you. And with the prosecutor able to use the 851, it doubles the mandatory minimum. And then you have 6 creeping. And you end up with numbers like 25, 30, or a life.
I can only imagine what you felt like, man. It had to be shocking. You had signed a Def Jam, right?
Correct.
Did some music, and you ended up getting caught up in the streets, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, you're in federal prison now, with a drug case and all of that. So you get caught up in the streets, selling drugs. Now you're serving a 25-year sentence, but some other things happened in your life, right? With the police. Didn't the police shoot you?
Yeah, when I was 17, I was charged with attempt murder on a police officer. They alleged that I was shooting at the police, but I got to clear those charges. But in the mix of the an altercation with the officers. I was shot in my left arm at 17. You know, in 301 Silver Ave in Brownsville.
Brownsville, is that in Brooklyn?
That's right. It's one of the worst parts of Brooklyn. That's the bottom of Brooklyn right there.
It's kind of like the gutter, huh?
Yeah. Coming up was hard, man. You know, I got into some altercations in the streets, man. And, you know, I landed where I am, but nonetheless, I'm thankful for my experience, man. I learned a lot during this time, you know what I'm saying? And with these circumstances, I learned a lot about life, about myself. I'm a better person now moving forward, you know what I'm saying? And when I come home, I'm an advocate for people going through the same struggle that I'm going through right now, because the way how these laws are set up right now, it ain't right, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let me take you back to, do you remember how me and you had met?
Absolutely. Come on, Charlie Marks, you know that there's freedom fighters, man. The reason I'm back in court right now, let's be clear, listeners, man. Chad Marks, let me tell you how I met Chad Marks. I had filed the 2255, well, I was about to file my 2255. I had National Legal Professional Association, NLPA, do my motion. And because I know lawyers be selling people out and things like that from my past experience, I was holding on to the motion before filing it. In the universe, man, God was in mysterious ways. God brought Chad Marks from Rayburn, FCI in New York, to Lexington, Kentucky. And when he got to the compound, I heard about how he was doing his law work and how he was helping people out, and his name was ringing. So I approached Chad, and I let him know, you know, I had the motion I wanted to file, and we went over it together. And Chad pointed out the errors that was being made inside of my motion. So instead of filing that motion right there, which I paid NLPA $12,500 for, I wound up letting Chad redo it over and file it. Had Chad not came to Lexington, Kentucky, and I filed the motion by the NLPA people, I wouldn't be back down in court right now.
But you know what, Jinx? Really, man, for real, it ain't about me, man, for real. It's about you. It's about the fact that, you know, you had some people doing your case, some lawyers that really didn't give a shit about you, man. All they cared about was your money, right? And I took over, and I had about a week left, man, time to be able to write your 2255. We wrote it, and you're back in court, man. And for me, that's what it's about, that you have a second chance now to possibly reclaim your life, man, and get out of there, because I'm definitely against, man, 28-year-olds going to prison with 25-year sentences for nonviolent drug crimes, man. So I helped you, number one. You're my homeboy. We're both from New York. I helped you for that reason, you know what I mean? And because you were a young man, and if I didn't help you, you were in trouble. But it's not about self-promotion, man. It's about you, man. This is Jinx's story. You know, I don't want to see you go to prison at 28 years old and walk out of there with good time at 50. That's wrong, man. And that's why I do the things that I do.
Hey, not to cut you off, Charles, man, I'm going to be totally honest, man. When I first got that 300 months, and I came back into the unit, man, I told everybody in the unit, I said, they did their job, now I got to do mine. And that's what young black men got to understand when they get in these situations. You got to fight for your life, because no lawyer that you can go fight for your life like you going to fight for it. And I learned a lot by, you know, spending time with Chad, man. One thing about Chad Marks, like you just mentioned, and it's not about self-promotion, but it's just real. Chad is passionate about advocating and fighting for the people. I didn't just watch Chad do my legal work and help me out with my life. I watched him help numerous people. You know what I'm saying? Get back time, get back in court. I watched him sit with his headphones in the unit, going over paperwork, being in the law library, spending hours working in yard with dudes, getting dudes cases. I saved him when COVID came and they wasn't treating us right in the jail. People was dying in there. Child getting stuff from Lisa and taping it up on the walls and all that. I seen him fight for the people in all different type of ways. So I definitely appreciate freedom fighters, and it's been an inspiration just to watch Chad, you know, even go home right now, put out the book, set up the YouTube channel, TV, joint, and everything that he's doing for the people, man. So I definitely support the movement, man. Jinx Da Juvy, I'm co-signing on that.
I appreciate you, man. We were, do you remember when we were in Lexington, man? Do you remember Rodney Love?
Rodney Love. Give me,
do you remember you know who the rapper Lil Baby is, right?
Yeah.
So now do you remember who Rodney Love is?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, my man Love from Tennessee, right plus 55. Obama helped him get that off his back, yeah?
Yeah. And a lot of times you were talking about when you see me with the headphones on, I was working on his case. And
Okay.
we're waiting on a decision on that case now, right? And hopefully, man, he'll be able to be in the same position you're in and back at court. But Jinx, man, your story's important because the mission for Blood on the Razor Wire is to save kids from life imprisonment and premature death. Now, you were a young, wild dude out there when you were a youngster, right?
Absolutely. I was caught up. I didn't know who I was, man. I thought I wanted to be a gangster in the streets and live out the days I was rapping in my music. I got caught in the hype.
You got caught in the hype, man. And, I don't want to sound ignorant, but I want to ask you this. When you were younger, man, did you think, like, who cares if I go to prison? So what? Like, it was kind of, like, glamorized a little bit?
I mean, I'm gonna keep it 102, man. And I tell people this, and this is just my story, like you said, man. I'm not gonna pull no punches. I believe in the power of your thoughts, man, because I've witnessed it go on in my life. When I was younger, my father used to show me pictures of his friends in prison and brag about their lifestyles and all that. And I used to look at the pictures and say, man, one day, man, I'm gonna be on the visitor floor with some Cartier specs and some muscles in the tank top and all that. And you know what? I got exactly what my thoughts projected to the universe. And you see me in jail. I have my Cartier specs and I'm working out of a pull-up bar and all that. So it's like when you're young, you don't know what you're basically getting yourself into. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I got caught up in trying to live out my lyrics. And I thought I was invincible at one time. I had to deal with Def Jam. I had Russell Simmons with me, the murder charge on police. You know what I'm saying? I bailed out from that, but that case got erased. I felt invincible. I got shot 6 times on 5 different occasions. It took a situation like this to sit me down to get my life and my mind in order to be a better person moving forward.
So could you say, so let me ask you this. So what you're saying is this shit got real, didn't it?
Yeah, this shit got real like the blood on the barbed wire that you talking about, Jared. That's my blood on the barbed wires out there. I got a little bit of blood up there. You feel me?
No doubt.
Poured up on that barbed wire.
And I'm sure,
left up there.
Let me ask you a question, man. I'm sure you've seen some things in prison that a lot of people ain't supposed to see. You've probably seen some violence in there, right?
Of course, man. That come along with the territory. You come to jail, you can see a whole lot of that. This shit ain't TV. This up close and personal shit. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see a lot, man.
So...
But you want me to get into some details, stabbings, things like that? I ain't going to put no names in it.
Nah.
But this shit real behind here, man. You know what it is. Niggas is dying behind these walls, man.
Nah, we're not going to do that. I don't want to do that, Jinx, but what I want to do is I want the kids, like how you were younger, you were a kid and you were looking at your father's pictures and some of the homies were sending home flicks from New York State prison. And they see that part, the pictures, and some kids think it's cool like you thought, right? I thought that shit was cool too. But I want the people to know that, there's another side of them pictures, man, where people see things they shouldn't have to see. People experience things that they really don't want to experience, man. And not just... Hold up, 1 second, Jinx. Not just the violence, but the loneliness, man. Being alone, man.
That's right. And that's what I was about to get into, Chad, man. Because anybody, what I'm saying, in my situation, will talk about how I go there, niggas getting hit, nice fights and all this. Listen, man, I see a lot of gangsters, man. A lot of dudes is lonely, lose their families, man. A lot of dudes, I go inside the dudes' cells, man, and I see dudes with pictures of their sons who got murdered on the streets while they was in prison. Dudes doing time, losing their mothers, losing their fathers. You know what I'm saying? Every day having to see a CO look at you take a shit, telling you where to shake, eat, and sleep. You know what I'm saying? I've seen people walk around the yard lost, man, lose their mind. A lot of people lose their mind. I see a person kill themselves, hang themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, to say for the weak, man, this tests your mind, your mental to the third power, man. And if you ain't strong enough, you're going to fall victim to all type of things, man. You'll lose your mind, lose your family. You'll push people out your life because you're stressed out. You start pointing fingers, playing the blame game. It's this person for it's that person for. Nah, man, you got to man up, look in the mirror, and better yourself, man. Because we made the choices out there in the world, man. We had choices and we made the wrong ones.
So, Jinx, let me ask you this, right? If you could talk to your younger self, right? Think about when you were 8, 9, 10 years old, maybe 12, 13, and you were looking at them flicks, right? Of your father's homeboys, they're in prison. and you thought that shit was cool, what would you tell your younger self, man?
I would tell my younger self, man, get the fuck away from your father. That nigga bugging. You know what I'm saying? I tell that nigga, yo, man, get the fuck away from him, man. Father, no father, man. This nigga's tripping, man. You know, I tell my younger self, man, this ain't what you want. I tell my younger self, find something else to indulge in. Find another story to fantasize about. You know, I tell myself, who the fuck wanna go to prison, man? I ask myself, who the fuck wants to be away from your family, you know?
No doubt. And listen, you're on a prison phone right now, right? How long do you get to talk on that phone for, and before it hangs up on you?
15 minutes. Any given moment, this shit will be saying, you have 60 seconds left, man. Let me tell you something about these phones, man. One thing that I can't wait to come home is to be able to use a cell phone and just dial. Remember, before I dialed you just now, as you already know, Charles Martin, for people out there who don't know, you got to press a whole bunch of numbers, your code, your PAC number, your CN number, your voice activated shit, all of that before you even get the number dialed out. Imagine having to do that day after day after time after time. That shit is annoying, man. This is the life, though.
That's the life. Something as small as a telephone means so much, doesn't it?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man.
Man. And right now, I know you've been doing some music too from prison, right?
Oh, yeah. No doubt. We going to.
Tell the people about your music, man.
Well, right now, man, you can check me out on Instagram. I'm promoting a lot of things on Instagram. My IG is @free_Jinx. That's @free_Jinx. My Facebook is DK Jinx. You know, my website, JinxDaJuvy.com. I got a new single called Wrestling with the Fans right now. It's about to come out in a week or two, produced by DJ New. You know what I'm saying? I'm working on an EP album right now. I got over 150 songs right now. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kite Magazine. They did an interview on me not too long ago. That was all through the jazz. You know, I got my book I'm working on right now with a writer, Angie Hunt. She's helping me manifest that project right now. I got my clothing line merchandising company I'm working on. You know, we just keeping it pushing, man. Soon there'll be some music on High 97, K-Spray, Front Master Flex, DJ will never be playing my record, Wrestling with the Fans. It's a drink. I'm basically like, my bitch hills on the coast, the bottom of them is red. Niggas is pussy like bitches. When they open their legs, I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees and beg. Back on the pit part two, I'm wrestling with the feds. 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 And niggas turn their back and feeling like pockets out of quit max. Immortal, walking out the court with my hands swollen. If the streets talking, then the fans know it. Can't keep a secret in the rotten apple. Keep a lawyer on retained just in case they come and grab you. Judge hit the gravel. 300 months? How the fuck they give a nigga that for selling drugs? Know some niggas who caught bodies ain't got less than that. Like my little homie dropped and gave him 19 flat. Bentley SCR, West Virginia State. Cracking steel races now behind them gates, spitting ninja trains when they throw through the slot. Going through some hard times, I made it through a boot pot. So salute the little Boosie, Brooklyn up in Juvie. Next time around, I'm going to try to pick the jury. More jury, more hoes, more excitement. But the days are dead in on the ways of new indictment. You know what I'm saying? To the hook comes in, and I got the second verse. But like I said at the end of that verse right there, man, more money, more hoes, more excitement. But the days are dead in. On the ways of new indictment. It's never if you get caught. It's when you get caught, man. All my niggas in the streets be safe, man.
Let me say this, right? Because, you know, you might not have always been on the, straight path in prison, but I know you changed your life over the last couple of years, man, and you're trying to do big things. I know this phone's gonna hang up on us. We got a 15-minute clip, and I just want to tell you, man, I appreciate you coming on the show. And this is a show where we bring it to people real. We bring it to them raw. And Jinx, man, I just want to thank you, man. And keep your head up and keep fighting. And, we're here for you, man. We'll do everything we can to help you get out of prison, man. All right?
No doubt. Freedom fighters for life, man. Support the movement. Chad Murphy advocates for the people. He's for the people. Shout out to Lisa Jacoby. Shout out my management team, Teflon Music, man. Hey, yo, man, everybody out there, go get that new single to drop, Wrestling with the Fans. Instagram, @free_Jinx, 100.
Hey, man, take it easy, man. If you need anything, you call me, all right?
Well, Brent, keep doing what you do, my nigga.
All right, one. Appreciate you.
Thank you for using Global Tel-Link.
I interviewed Jinx for a reason today. I wanted people to hear his story, hear what it was like as a young man. He grew up hard. Russell Simmons ended up adopting him, brought him into the fold. He was making a little money. He made an album. He's on other people's music. I believe he was on that show Run's House. Jinx had a life ahead of him, but he was caught up in the streets. Jinx wanted to live that street life. Jinx wanted to be a drug dealer. Jinx didn't want to just do music. He wanted to live the stuff that he was rapping about. He was living that life. He grew up hard. He grew up tough. I know his story. Like he said, I did his case. He grew up rough. Life wasn't easy for Jinx. But he had somebody reach out to him and pull him into the fold. That was Russell Simmons. He seen something in Jinx, and he tried to help Jinx change his life. But like I said, he didn't want that. He wanted to be on the other side. It wasn't just about having a good life and having money to do what you wanted to do. He wanted to be a drug dealer for some reason. Maybe he thought it was cool. Maybe he thought that's how he would get the chicks, or, how he just thought he wanted to live his life. He wanted to live in the street. But you would think, as a young man, he's shot by the police at 17 years old, almost loses his life, gets shot by someone else in Brooklyn, in Brownsville, doesn't lose his life, and he runs back to the streets. Are you that 17-year-old? Are you that kid that wants to run back to the streets, living a fake dream? Trust me, you don't want to be like Jinx right now, serving 25 years. Yeah, he's back in court. But you didn't hear the other side of the story, that he's been in prison for 7 or 8 years now. You didn't hear the other side of the story, that it's possible he could lose this appeal and never get out of prison until he's 53 years old. Imagine that, going to prison at 28 years old and getting out at 53. The best years of your life are gone. The best years of your life are spent on a pull-up bar, like he said, wearing Cartier glasses on a visit, looking nice in pictures and flicks. That's not the life you want to live. Is that the life you want? I suggest to you that it's not. It's not all easy to just go ahead and stop doing what you're doing and go from getting money to being broke. But let me tell you something. I met plenty of dudes that were in the street getting money, and in the end, they ended up in prison broke. They ended up in prison calling people for money for food and small things like soap and deodorant. Don't be that dude, man. I'm happy that Jinx Da Juvy changed his life, that, he's on the right path now. I'm happy that I was able to help him get back into court on his post-conviction motion, his 2255. But man, tomorrow ain't promised. Winning that 2255 in court, it ain't promised. He's going to have an evidentiary hearing. I'm prayerful that he wins. But if he don't, he's in trouble. He's in trouble. He's going to have to live the next 15 years of his life with good time in prison. He's already done 7 or 8. Don't be that guy, man. Don't be that guy. Change your path. Because you're in the driver's seat. You got the ability to change your life. You got the ability to not have to be on a phone calling somebody for 15 minutes. Like I said, man, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button if you like this video. If your daughter or son are heading down the wrong road, maybe this is the video that might help change their course. Maybe it's not. Maybe they need to see 2 or 3 videos. Maybe they won't change their life. But I'm hopeful that they will. Bringing it to you real, bringing it to you raw. Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Until tomorrow, we're out.